The Amari Cooper trade sent shockwaves through the NFL and impacted everyone's waiver wire last week. Well, now, a week later, it's still having its effects because of the guys that are throwing him the ball. To me, Dak Prescott's a very solid pickup this week. Now, without defenses being able to simply key on Ezekiel Elliott, he now is a number one weapon. I think Dak Prescott enters that borderline QB1 discussion because of the emergence of Cooper. That opened things up for Michael Gallup and also Cole Beasley. I think Dak Prescott's a solid option for those QB teams in need, especially if you got someone like Jameis Winston, who's probably going to be benched by the Buccaneers. And Cooper's former quarterback, Derek Carr, is a very good pickup as well. Not because his team is that good, but because his team is that bad. Their defense simply cannot stop anybody, which means Carr's going to have to throw the ball all over the yard from now until the end of the season. He's going to throw it 40 or 50 times every week, and he still has playmakers like Jared Cook and Jordy Nelson to go get him the ball. And if Martavis Bryant could ever get his act together, that's just another red zone weapon that he can use. Then there are some talented running backs to pick up as well, and Chris Carson leads the list. The Seahawks were on the ground and pound this season, and he's the lead back. Love this guy moving forward as well in potential keeper spots because he's really emerged as a top-flight running back in this league and a lock running back 2 each and every week. Then you got Aaron Jones, who had a great breakout performance again yesterday against the Rams. He simply needs to establish himself as the lead back in Green Bay, where they desperately need a running game. He went over 80 yards and scored a touchdown, and I expect him to get the lion's share of carries moving forward. And because of opportunities on the trade market, depth charts getting shifted, there are tons of wide receivers that are available that can certainly help you in leagues. Devontae Parker is the name I am looking at this week, big time. He is the best playmaker on the Dolphins at the receiver position. Then, if he gets traded to a team like the Texans, who just lost Will Fuller, the opportunity with a better quarterback obviously shows itself. So to me, Parker's my number one wide receiver to grab this week. The other one at tight end, who's my number one waiver guy this week, is Jack Doyle. In a year where we've seen all these different tight ends miss time with injuries, both long-term and short-term, Doyle has come back from his injury, and he had a great game yesterday against Oakland. Over 6 catches, over 70 yards, and a score. I like Jack Doyle moving forward. Then, if Demaryius Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders is traded within the next 48 hours, Courtland Sutton becomes a top-flight option. He showed out yesterday with another huge catch, and once his target share goes up, if one of those guys are traded, he instantly becomes a wide receiver 3 with tremendous upside. He has big play potential. He showed it in college at SMU, and he showed it so far this season in his rookie campaign. Then you got Sammy Watkins, often overshadowed in that Chiefs offense. To me, this guy's now a lock wide receiver 3. Great game yesterday, over 100 yards, couple scores. Tyreek Hill left the game yesterday with an injury, so to me, Watkins is certainly worth a pickup in your league. Then there are some injuries to take a look at. Sony Michel is missing tonight's game against the Bills for the Pats. He's week to week. You also have Cooper Kupp, who missed his second game yesterday in that Rams victory over the Packers. Robbie Anderson, C.J. Azuma. You also have Royce Freeman and Ronald Jones, are all injuries to take a look at as we go forward this coming week. And then, with the trade deadline just 48 hours away, tons of big names on there. Is Patrick Peterson going to get traded? Sanders or Thomas, as we mentioned. Maybe Landon Collins, the stud defensive captain of the Giants, gets moved. Unlike years past, guys are being moved, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes out and who gets the lion's share of snaps in these people's places moving forward. Courtland Sutton could be a big winner here. We also don't know. Maybe the Pats go and get Demaryius Thomas, and that would mean stock down for guys like Edelman and Hogan and Gordon and Gronk if Demaryius Thomas is then added to that team. As always, check out the All Out Blitz. Every Sunday morning, we'll get your lineup set for Week 9 coming up, 11:45 at Phantom Sports on Facebook. Have a good week and continue to like our channel on YouTube, and plenty more content coming this week, especially with the trade deadline right around the corner.